Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental rune reading for the week of May 31st through June 6th. It is almost halfway through the year. These are intuitive readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. If you've never had your charts read, so you're kind of curious as to where your fire or water or whatever lines up, there is a natal interpretation chart in the description. It's not sponsored or anything, it's just a tool that's available if you're interested. It gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means. And then there's also an elemental alignment section in there as well. So with that, we'll get started with our fire family. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you are Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, this message is for you. Forgot my book, just one second, because I don't have all this stuff memorized. Your first rune is the Iawaz rune, which is the rune of the yew tree. Color is dark blue. Tarot association is the Hanged Man. Astrology is Scorpio. So this is the fiery aspect of water, basically. Protection, time of death and rebirth, foresight, and perseverance. This is a time of wisdom as well. This is a time for understanding. I do feel that there's this call for fire to reevaluate things. The Hanged Man is a call to look at something from a different perspective, and so the energy that's coming in this week, that's kind of the more dominant one I'm feeling, is this call to look at the situation that's in front of you, see what's really going on, and maybe even turn it on its head to be like, what am I missing? There's something here that's not quite adding up. So your second rune, maybe this will give us a little bit of clarity on what's not adding up. We have the Anzus rune, which is the ancestral god of Odin. Color is dark blue, so blue is a good color for you this week, fire. Tarot association is death, and astrology is Mercury. Wisdom and help from someone older, magic, psychic powers, initiation. The energy that comes with the tarot word death is actually not a negative connotation. It can be, but I don't feel that with this. I feel like when you look at things from the alternative perspective or get a different viewpoint, you're going to see how some things need to fade away, which is a death in itself, and that's going to allow you to open up to something new. There could be some rocking and rolling that goes on this week. There could be a little bit of shaking up that is being called forth. I'm feeling that there is definitely some things that need to be brought into the light, and the Hanged Man is a good way to pinpoint what that is, and Death and Mercury are ways to draw that out so that you can actually decide if you need to keep it or remove it. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, is you have a week of changing an awareness that's being called up right now, which might be a little more of a challenge than you're ready for, but you also have the protection of some pretty powerful energies, especially the god Odin coming in, because Odin has a very interesting way of dealing with stuff. But that's where I feel like this wisdom aspect is going to be so valuable to you. So see how that plays out for the the fire family. And let's hop over to Earth, which covers Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you are a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or if you have water high up in your, or Earth high up in your chart, sorry, I can't talk today, we have Laguz, which is the water rune. That was why I kept bringing water up. Color is deep green. Tarot association is the star. Astrology is the moon. This is your unconscious intuition and memory, your psychic awareness, and hidden sources of creativity. These are those bursts of insight that come in where you're not sure where it comes from, but this genius idea just occurred, and it actually solves the problem you're looking at. With Laguz coming in, Earth, this is the time to flow. If you've ever seen a mud slide, it moves like water, and so this is your call to just go with the flow on things. Don't get too wrapped up in the details. That's not the focus. Get into that flow state and notice what happens when you, to use the terms off of the definition, when you shoot for the moon, you land in the stars, you still succeeded better than you could. That's what's coming up this week, is you're going to see a way around a situation or through a situation, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and you're actually going to find something better. So if it's something good you're aiming for, it's going to be better. If it's something that you have to try to dodge, Notice how your intuition guides you into the better state. This is a strong week for your intuition. So, Earth, if you haven't been meditating as much or you haven't been allowing yourself the gift of using your intuition, maybe this week give yourself that opportunity. Your second rune is Perth, or the rune of fate. Color is black. Tarot association is the Wheel of Fortune. And astrology is Saturn. So you got your little stern father figure going on here. Mystery, chance, unexpected material gain, and surprises. Hidden things coming to light. When we tap into our intuition deeply, Earth, it allows you to see things usually more clearly. Sometimes there's a little bit of fog bank that rolls in, but that's because you're not supposed to see that yet. But what I'm getting with this one is it's actually being called to you. Like, what's coming up is something that consciously or subconsciously you've actually been hunting for. And now when you get into that flow state, just like with the Wheel of Fortune, things are going to move into the best state. The other energy that comes up with Saturn is discipline. So if you want to be able to go with the flow, but when you stay disciplined in your exercise, in your diet, your morals, your ethics, your values, when you hold those disciplined, but you get in the flow state of saying, I will do this part, universe, God, source, let me be here, show me the right way, because you're getting into that ability to flow through it. And I'm feeling that, Earth, you like to have a set plan here lately. And I'm not saying that this is always the case, but here lately you just have this urge to have things lined out. You want to have a nice detailed description of everything that's happening in life. This is not the time for that for you. If you allow yourself to get into the flow state, the Wheel of Fortune kicks in. That's when you start to live in the mystery of the now. And that's what's going to bring you really the most joy and the most opportunity this week. So see how that plays out for you. But I really am feeling that sticking to your core with the discipline of Saturn, the values, the morals, the ethics, the important stuff, and then allow yourself the gift of not having to worry about the future. Go with the flow, see what happens this week, because I feel like there's some good things coming in for you. Let's take a peek at our air family, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you're Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your chart, you get to start off with Othela, which is the ancestral property rune. Color is deep yellow. Tarot association is the moon. Astrology is the full moon. So this is going to be calling to your inner self as well as some water energy. Possession, inheritance, real property, inherited abilities or traits. Air, you always have this, you've had this urge to learn more, and you're going to do so no matter what. I'm getting this impression that you're going to be inheriting something that is going to increase your knowledge, whether that's a set of books, it could be an old encyclopedia set, something that is going to offer you wisdom and knowledge. And it could be that you get to spend some time with an older family member or a friend where you get to learn from them as well. I'm also feeling with this moon energy, there's something coming in. You might be working with some kind of an energy, like a lineaged energy like Reiki, where you're going to become attuned this week because that's an inheritance of a form, or something along those lines, because it's not just about the intellectual, it's not just about the cut and dried basic stuff. There's something deeper that's being offered to you this month, Air, this week, and I'm really feeling it that it's not going to be of value in like physical coin, but it will actually be of greater value to your soul and your journey. Your second rune is the Jira rune, or the rune of the year. Color is light blue. Tarot association is the Fool, and astrology is Earth. You've got a new beginning coming in here. Cycles of life and nature, something coming to fruition, effort receiving its reward. I feel like there's a culmination. That's where that Reiki one is really sticking, or that energy lineage of some form is really strong right now, because it's like you've worked towards, it could be you're graduating from a medical institution, you're still getting an inheritance of a fashion, but it's something that's going to be long term. The Fool and that Earth energy is saying you have a new beginning coming in. You don't know everything. You are inheriting a great deal, which is great, but with the Fool, you're the naive idiot. Like, yay, I got this new beginning, but you're not paying attention to your surroundings. And that's where you're beginning a new journey. You get to the opportunity to expand, to grow, and really live life in the most unique and fun way. But with that earth energy being opposite air, that's where you have the little bit of challenge. Like there may be some things you miss along the way that are going to come into a little bit of a hiccup. We'll call it a hiccup. But that's not a negative. So this week is really about you coming to the end of a cycle, inheriting and moving forward in a new journey. The other thing they keep saying is even if you are graduating from school or something like that and you happen to go out, don't expect things to be perfect right off the bat. Even if you were headhunted right out of the door for a university or some kind of job, don't expect things to just be perfect, because it's a new beginning, and so there's always a learning curve with that. So let's hop over to our water family, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So all of our fishies out there, if you've got water high up in your charts or you're Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, this one is for you. And you're starting off with if I could hold the rune correctly. There we go. The Algae's rune, which is the rune of protection. Color is gold. Tarot association is the moon, and astrology is Cancer. So this is your energy. So water, you're going to be in your power this week. Protection from danger, resisting temptations, and new beginnings coming in. If this is, again, a time of graduation or something along those lines, you're going to be ready to go into the next part of your life. And you may be scared, you may be nervous. What do I do now? Where am I going to where am I going? What's my, I'm graduating and I don't have a job, or I'm taking the next step in life, whatever that may be, and I don't know what's going to happen. You don't have to know. Cancer is also the beginning of the water cycle, so it's a little more emotional. That's why those energies are feeling a little more intense this week, water, because you are standing in your power. You're standing in your flow of energy. And whatever emotion comes forward, because water governs emotions, you're going to feel it a little more intensely this week. So, number one, don't take things personal, no matter what's said, done, or otherwise, because you're feeling a lot more sensitive. But you have this energy of the yellow, the golden energy. So this is a solar energy, but it's balancing that energy of the moon and Cancer. So you're able to actually function really well, even though your emotions might be a little more out of whack than normal. Let's see what your second rune is. But it's not negative, so to speak, because you're protected. So it may be just that whole feeling anxious about not knowing, but you're taken care of, or being fearful of what comes next, you're still taken care of. Your second rune is the Kano rune, which is the torch or fire rune. So this is your opposite energy. Color is light red. Tarot association is the Chariot, and astrology is Venus. Pardon me. And it signifies creative fire, awakening artistic impulses, passion, and sexual desire. So, water, while you might be dealing with some personal things, it doesn't mean that life's going to be boring by any stretch. You have the energy of the Chariot, so things are speeding up for you. You also have Venus, so this could be speeding up in the romantic situation, and the color is light red, so it's not a heavy energy you're dealing with here. Algiz is saying you're protected, but don't worry if your emotions are a little more intense than normal. But Kano is bringing in the energy of, yeah, they might be intense, but it might be just what you need to push you forward. When we talk about passion, this is the desire or the creative potential of what you're bringing into the world next. So this could be leading you towards the dream job. This could be leading you towards the perfect relationship, which would account for the sexual desire part. And when you have the Venus tying in, again, you're tying into the energy of intensity, of emotion, of really awakening the deeper side of yourself. So enjoy that as much as you can this week. So, general for everybody here, this week is really feeling about new expansion and new awareness, but it's because you've done some work. You've done some inner work, and the universe is like, okay, you've done all this, now it's time to move forward. You've prepared yourself, and now it's time to experience it. It's about remembering about the small things in life. This now moment is the magical moment. The future, you can rearrange that all you want. The past, learn from it, but don't live there because you're not there anymore. But in this moment right now is where your magic is. And all elements, you have the ability to wield that particular magic quite well this week. So have a great week. Go out there and have some fun, explore, ground yourself, get into the now, and let's see what the universe has in store. And with that, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.